All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as we recap everything that happened down here in Santa Clara on a Wednesday. The Niners getting ready to take on the Los Angeles Rams in the rematch. Niners and Rams go Sunday at Levi's. Anytime I start doing a video, immediately there's traffic, there's buses, there's trains, there's planes, there's activity, there's action, there's noise. Anyway, thank you to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. We're going to do a meet and greet at Pig and a Pickle during the bye week, Sunday of the bye week. Check us out. We'll be in Corte Madera throughout the day at Pig and a Pickle. Stop by, have a beer, have some barbecue, say hello. Should be a great day at Pig and a Pickle during the bye week in week 14. That's going to be in December. Check that out. Make an appointment. I want to see all you guys there at Pig and a Pickle in Corte Madera. In Corte Madera. Not their Emeryville location. Will be in Corte Madera during the bye week. All right, what happened today here in Santa Clara? Well, first of all, today at practice, Bryce Huff returned in a limited fashion. He is scheduled to go against the Rams on Sunday, which is great news for the Niners pass rush because they don't have a pass rush without him. Ricky Pearsall, though, remains out. That PCL injury is just tricky, and it's just not allowing Ricky to come back. I said hi to him in the locker room briefly, and it's just, you know, you can see the look on his face, man. He wants to be in there. It's killing him not to be in there, but he still remains out with the PCL knee injury. D. Winters was practicing today. It was limited. Jake Brendel, Tatum Bethune, Bryce Huff, Brock Purdy, all limited. In fact, Shanahan said that Purdy will likely get a few more first-team reps this week. You know, there is no real word on Purdy. Is he going to go? Is he not? Some people think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to go. I think the 49ers are at this point understand that they don't want to have a setback. He could be back and they're playing their cards close to the vest, but I think it's another week of Mac Jones. That would be my guess. It could be that Brock Purdy's getting ready to come back and they just didn't want to return him on the turf in Houston or the Jets or Houston or last week against the Giants at MetLife. So, you know, it's possible that they're going to put him back out there this week, but you know, he's limited at practice and he's still listed as limited, and that's really all they're going to tell us. He looks okay, he doesn't look great, whatever. I mean, you know, it's hard to tell in the amount of practice that we get to see what he looks like or if he's progressing, but it seems like if you had asked me to guess, I would guess it's going to be Mac Jones. It's going to be Mac Jones and not Brock Purdy Sunday against the Rams. That would be my guess. On the quarterback tip, we should tell you Kyler Murray went on the IR today for the Arizona Cardinals, so they're going to go with Jacoby Brissett next week against the Niners. So just looking 1 week ahead, we may see Jacoby Brissett at quarterback instead of Kyler Murray. And before you go, oh, yes, great thing. Well, you know what? Actually, I think Arizona looks way better with Brissett than they did with Murray. So, you know, it's maybe not that great of a deal. One other injury note, Yatir Gross-Matos, according to Kyle Shanahan, will not return this week, but will return later this year. So that's the latest right there on Yatir Gross-Matos. We should also tell you that 49er practice reports this season are brought to you by our friends at Plank, the 50,000 square foot entertainment eatery in Jack London Square out in Oakland. Plank just opened the Hub, their brand new sports viewing space, incredible food, specialty cocktails, 15,000 square foot outdoor beer garden. Bring the kids. If they love bowling, bocce, arcade games, it's all there. Check them out, plankoakland.com. That's plankoakland.com. All right, couple other notes I think of interest. Asante Samuel, the veteran corner, is back from his neck injury, and he is working out for a number of teams around the league, and he is scheduled to visit the 49ers. Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network had that little nugget late this afternoon. So the Niners did not get any help in the trade market, but they may go after Asante Samuel and add a veteran corner. I'm not sure when he'll work out, but he'll probably work out this week. And then after, you know, usually these things, he works out for a week, everybody takes a look, and then everybody comes up with their best offers, and the agent tries to get the best deal he can get. I don't know how durable this guy is. Obviously, the medicals are going to be the key thing. He's a hell of a corner. And I'll tell you this, a lot of the same traits that Renardo Green has, because he played at Florida State. Asante has. Really tough, really good man-to-man, great body control, fierce competitors. I think Asante Samuel would be a great fit on this team. I mean, I really do. Next to Renardo and Demo and Upton Stout. I mean, give the Niners, if you can't rush the passer, you might as well have better corners. And Asante Samuel definitely fits into that category as a better corner. By the way, the game, Rams are 3.5-point favorites here. They were 8.5-point favorites the last time the teams met. Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady will be on the call for Fox. Now, Kyle Shanahan was asked today about the trade deadline. Hey, man, you guys didn't do anything. What's the deal? And he said, hey, look, the prices were just too high. The word is that the Niners really wanted Jermaine Johnson of the Jets, and that the Jets wanted a second-round pick from the Niners, and the Niners were offering a fourth-round pick, and they didn't want to settle on they couldn't come together on hey, we'll do it a third. It seems like both sides were dug in. The Jets wanted their asking price. The Niners wanted their price of a day 2 or day 3 pick. And obviously they weren't on the same page, so it never came together. Kyle also said today that he's pretty confident that Brandon Ayuk will play this year. So now we're actually talking about, does he play at all this year? And Kyle says he's confident he will, but he didn't have his practice window opened this week, and I don't know what the immediate future is for Ayuk or when they're going to open that practice window. Once again, planes, trains, automobiles. I mean, I'm sorry for the noise, guys. I'm sitting here on the busiest corner in the world right now. But yeah, Kyle says he's pretty confident that Ayuk will play at some point this year. Niners made a transaction today. They signed Andrew Farmer to the practice squad. He's a 6'4", 250-pound defensive end. They also released Stone Blanton from the practice squad. Farmer played at Lane College in Tennessee, a tiny little school in Tennessee. And he was a very productive player in college. I think he had like 18 sacks in 17 games or something like that. And he's a good athlete, so we'll see. They signed him to the practice squad today, and he was in their locker room. Interesting note from Mike Silver. Mike Silver reported today that there are frustrations. He says frustrations have reportedly mounted after San Francisco failed to make a trade at the deadline. And it's interesting. Mike is citing sources inside the building. He's not just saying media people and fans. He's saying there's actually people inside the Niner building that are frustrated that the Niners didn't make a move at the deadline. All right, let's talk turkey here. I don't pull any punches. I speak the truth. That's why the channel is done as well as it's done, because we don't freaking, peddle in a bunch of bullshit. We tell you the truth, and I think people can respect that. Here is the truth. The truth is that the Niners, all these people going, all these people getting upset that the pushback from some of these media people who are like, look at these people who are upset the Niners didn't make a deal. They're a bunch of nothings. Look at they're idiots. They're fools. Sorry if I have a little passion to see this team win. I want to see this team win the sixth Lombardi. They haven't won a sixth Lombardi trophy. They haven't won a Lombardi trophy since 1995. It's 2025. That was 30 years ago. If you're going to get it done, it ain't going to happen by accident. You're going to have a little urgency along the way. So sorry for me and others who showed a little discontent with the fact that the Niners, who desperately needed help on their defense, got absolutely zero at the trade deadline of note, while other teams like Seattle and Philly and other teams got better. And there's all these media people around being like, hey, if you wanted to see the 49ers improve their defense, you're some idiot, novice, fan that has no perspective, and all you're in search of is some sugar high. I really kind of resent that. The bottom line is Silver's speaking the truth. The reason there's frustrations inside the building and among some Niner fans is because the defense isn't good enough to win a Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl is here. And this team is 6-3. There's only 3 teams in football that have a better record than the Niners, and it's almost like they're waving the white flag. Now, they claim they're not, but you needed help in the worst way on your defense on all 3 levels, definitely up front, though. You have no pass rush. I'm going to read you some of those numbers in a second. And I just resent this fact that, because I'm disappointed that the Niners didn't get help that they desperately needed. That, you know, they're 6-3. There's only 3 teams with better records. The entire league is mid. The Super Bowl is right here. You have 2 quarterbacks that you can win with. Shanahan and Saleh are 2 of the better coaches in football. You needed help on your defensive line, and you got none. And all these Niner apologists in the media who are trying, I guess, in some weak way to like somehow curry favor with Lynch and Shanahan by just kissing their ass relentlessly. It's tired, man. It's so tired. And guess what? They don't respect you either, and you're not getting ahead. So this whole like, well, you know what? It was the right move not to. And the people who actually wanted to see them add to their defense, those people. Yeah, those people actually have passion about seeing the 49ers win a fucking championship. That's what those people have. And I just kind of resent it. So I love that Mike Silver is like, hey, man, there are frustrations inside the building. Why? Because there's a lot of people in this building that give a shit, and they actually want to see the 49ers win that 6th ring. And they're looking at this defensive front going, they need help in the worst way, and they got none. That's why there's frustration. I can't listen to some of these people anymore with their condescending bullshit. All right, couple more things. CMC nominated today for the FedEx Air Ground Player of the Year. The guys had more touches through nine weeks of football than any player in football over the last 5 years. I asked Shanahan today, what does it take to get to be the finishing back? And he kind of was like, acted like, well, nothing. I don't really consider anybody a finisher. We just kind of do what we do and this and that. And then I asked CMC, hey, do you like taking those carries at the end of games where everybody knows you're getting crushed? He's like, hey, look, a carry's a carry, and it is what it is. He's not going to duck it. But the Niners, he can't be both. He can't be both an indispensable piece, a key cog that you cannot lose, and the running back that you run on, into the line of scrimmage to force the other team to take timeouts late in the 4th quarter when you're up 2 scores. Shanahan, get somebody else besides CMC to take those carries. It's not that complicated, please. Since Fred Warner left in week 6, the Niner defense, by the way, 25th in EPA per play, 6th against the run, but 25th against the pass. Now here comes Stafford this week, and they can't mount any rush at all. This is going to be a really interesting game. If the Niners win this game against the Rams, man, give Kyle Shanahan the coach of the year, because this Rams team, compared to the Niners, much more talented, much healthier, a lot more momentum, playing better, better on offense, better on defense, better in every phase except for maybe special teams where the Rams are kind of a circus. But if the Niners get the win this week, wow, that would really be something. A couple other notes. The Niners' highest graded pass rusher last week against the New York Giants, it was Keon White. How about that? The newest Niner, he had a team best 31.3% win rate in true pass sets. Niners pass rush rankings this season, they're 29th in sacks, 28th in pressures, 31st in pressure rate. I mean, it's unbelievable. This team had Bryce Huff and Nick Bosa in training camp off the edges, and they're 31st in pressure rate. That's unbelievable, but those guys have gone down. Congratulations to George Seifert, Mike Holmgren, and Mike Shanahan. Those 3 ex-49er coaches are among 9 semifinalists for the coaching category in the Hall of Fame class of 2026. I think they all belong, to be honest. I really do. Holmgren was a great coach, great offensive mind. Shanahan obviously was the offensive coordinator the last time the 49ers won the Super Bowl. And George Seifert, just a great defensive coach, one of the great defensive backfield teachers of all time. And I think all those guys belong in the Hall of Fame. I really do. How good has Matt Hennessy been in 3 games filling in for Jake Brendel, you may ask? 0 sacks allowed, 0 penalties allowed, 3 pressures allowed, and only 1 quarterback hit allowed. He has been really, really good. It'll be interesting to see if Hennessy stays in the lineup Sunday against the Rams. All right, one more note. 49er football all season long is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chats, season-long leagues, and of course Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, time for me to bolt from Santa Clara and head back to my studio. Tonight, we have Niners Nightly on KNBR at 6 o'clock. The great Todd Husak is going to join me, and we'll look ahead to the Niners and the Rams. Thanks to Pig in a Pickle, thanks to Plank, thanks to Sleeper, and thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.